At a time when it seems like America is more divided than ever, leave it to Attorney General Pam Bondi to come out and somehow, some way, in the most ass-backwards way possible, she's actually united the country. That's right, folks. The Attorney General of the United States has united us. She has united the far left. She has united MAGA, because we are all right now united in thinking she is the dumbest Attorney General to ever serve in office. MAGA right now is in a bit of a frenzy. They're super pissed at Pam Bondi. Obviously, we are on the left as well for so very many reasons. But Bondi, as we all know, came out this week and said that her office at the DOJ, they're going to start prosecuting hate speech. Because, hate speech is not protected and is not okay, which is completely untrue. Hate speech is protected under the First Amendment. You may not like it, may not want to hear it, but by God, legally, people are allowed to say it. But that didn't stop Pam Bondi from coming out this week and saying, quote, "There's free speech and then there's hate speech. And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie, in our society. We will absolutely target you, go after you if you are targeting anyone with hate speech." So the Attorney General of the United States is admitting that we're going to violate the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution and start prosecuting people for federally protected speech, which for the record is something that even just a year ago, Charlie Kirk was speaking out against. A year ago, Charlie Kirk posted on Twitter, quote, "Hate speech does not exist legally in America. There's ugly speech, there's gross speech, there's evil speech, and all of it is protected by the First Amendment. The most disgusting speech should absolutely be protected," he said to an audience last year. He called himself a free speech absolutist. And yet here is the Attorney General saying we're getting rid of free speech because of what happened to Charlie Kirk. And as I mentioned, MAGA's not taking this well. You had conservative talk show host Eric Erickson say, quote, "Our Attorney General is apparently a moron." No arguments there. Rogan O'Hanley, who posts under the popular Twitter thread DC Drano, he says, "We don't need government crackdowns on hate speech. Let private citizens on X call out abhorrent speech and ask people's employers if they agree with their statements." Now, of course, I think that is stupid and extreme. However, if that's what you're going to do, you're going to do it. But it seems like he agrees. Hate speech is, of course, protected. Then, of course, you had the End Wokeness Twitter account, which, of course, is a huge account on Twitter. They said, "What we need is a massive crackdown on trans terror cells, not some hate speech police. AG Bondi, yikes." For the record, there are no such things as transgender terror cells. Y'all are afraid of your own effing shadows, aren't you? Like you're the groundhog, basically. You walk outside, you see your shadow, you're like, ah! Like that's what y'all do. You just piss your pants at the thought of anybody having a different kind of lifestyle. Like that is somehow impacting your life in any way. If you run into a transgender person on the street, it just ruins your day. Why? Why are y'all so obsessed? I mean, we know statistics show that the majority of transgender adult videos are actually consumed in red states. I mean, are y'all trying to overcompensate for something or what? Y'all fetishize these people, which of course is also terrible. Not as terrible, I guess, as the attacks y'all want to happen against them, but Jesus Christ. Continuing here, though, Matt Walsh, obviously well-known conservative, hardcore Trump supporter, said, "There is no law against saying hateful things, and there shouldn't be." So MAGA, for the most part, appears to be in agreement. Pam Bondi overstepping her bounds. Obviously, the left is in agreement. Pam Bondi is overstepping her bounds. But do you know who doesn't think that she's overstepping? So-called libertarian Republican Rand Paul. You know, the guy that always bragged about, "I carry around my little pocket constitution." Maybe you ought to pull that out and read it, dumbass. Because Rand Paul said this on Fox News this week. People say, oh, people have a right to say things. Well, actually, they don't necessarily have a right to say things. Many people have in their contract what we call a morals clause or a conduct clause. I think it is time for this to be a crackdown on people. Many people have in their contract. I'm sorry, are you talking about like military service members? Are you talking about sports figures who do have to sign like morality clauses? Are you talking about most businesses? Most businesses don't have contracts. And people walking, like, we don't have to sign a contract to be a U.S. citizen either. So I'm not sure what you're saying. Like, most people in their contracts, if you read them, we don't have contracts. Okay. So I don't know what you're referring to, but if a private business wants to fire somebody over their statements on social media, the courts have in fact ruled that they can do that. Now, that is something I absolutely 100% disagree with, but the courts have kind of settled the matter. Yeah, you can be fired for what you put on social media, which is horrible, but it can happen. The government, however, cannot prosecute you for it, with a few minor exceptions. Hate speech is not one of those exceptions. But here we are in the middle of losing our rights because one freaking weirdo did a horrible thing. That's not how this works. That's not how this country works. That means our laws, our protections, our Constitution was only paper thin to begin with. If that's the catalyst that exacerbates the destruction of this country, then we weren't really a country to begin with, now were we?